All right, so today we are going to multiply and divide rational expressions. This should be a review from Algebra 1, but I know it's probably been a while. So simplifying rational expressions. A rational expression really is just a fancy fraction. See the word ratio in there? Ratio. It's just a fraction, okay? So we're going to factor the top, factor the bottom, and then divide out the common factors. And that's essentially what you do with regular fractions. It's just you've gotten so used to doing them in your head, you probably don't really think about what it is you're doing. So if we look at our first one, we've got x squared minus 2x minus 15 over x squared minus 9. So I'm going to factor the top and factor the bottom. So what do you guys think that one's going to factor to on top?
X minus 5, x plus 3.
X minus 5, x plus 3. The rest of you agree? Okay, and what kind of binomial do I have on the bottom? Difference of squares, right? So that one is, we have different signs. We end up with x minus 3, x plus 3. And so I can see that I have an x plus 3 on the top and the bottom. And so I can divide those out, and I'm just left with x minus 5 over x minus 3. Okay, those are pretty straightforward. You're just factoring and then eliminating the common factors. So when you're done writing that down, there's one for you to do on your whiteboards. All right, so it looks like most of you were getting it. This first one is x minus 3 times x plus 1. And then the other one is x minus 3 times x plus 2. And we're just left with x plus 1 over x plus 2. So one thing you have to remember is that you can never cancel out terms if there is a plus or a minus between them. I cannot cancel those x's out because they're a package deal. They go with the thing that they're being added or subtracted to. You can never cancel them out. If you do, a kitten dies. So please don't kill any kittens, okay? You guys have like no sense of humor. Seriously? Nothing? Okay. Please don't cancel them out though, okay? I should have done puppies instead. Okay. Is that what it is?
Just further reference.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. All right. All right, so multiplying rational expressions, it's just like multiplying fractions. You multiply the top, you multiply the bottom, you reduce what you can. So it's okay to reduce it before you multiply it. So I'm going to at least reduce the numbers first. I've got 2 on the bottom and 8 on top. 2 goes into 8 4 times. And then I see that I've got 2 4s I can cancel out. The 4 on top and the 4 there. All right, so all I have left now is the 7 for a number. And then I'm going to go ahead and just multiply across and take care of reducing the x's and y's after I've combined them all. So I've got an x cubed and an x to the 4th. So if I multiply those together, I get x to the 7th. And then y times y cubed gives me y to the 4th. On the bottom, I've got xy cubed. And so do I have more x's on the top or the bottom? On top, right? How many more? 6. So I've got x to the 6th. And then what about my y's? Also on top, how many? Just 1 is left. Okay? So after you write that down, you can do this one on your whiteboards. Okay, so is that what you guys are getting to? I saw some of you had that. Okay. And somebody asked me in another class, you could also write it as 1/4. Since there's nothing but a number left, you could also write it as 1/4 x squared y squared. But leaving it as a fraction is fine with me. I don't care really. So, all right, let's take a look at another one. All right, so now we're going to multiply these big hairy things together, but it's not nearly as bad as it looks. These are actually not hard, they just take up a lot of space. So, all right, so we got 3x minus 3x squared over x squared plus 4x minus 5 times x squared plus x minus 20 over 3x. So I'm going to factor the top and bottom of each of them and see what will cancel out. So for the 3x minus 3x squared, I can take out a 3x, and I'm left with 1 minus x, and that's over x plus 5 times x minus 1. And we're doing that times x plus 5, x minus 4 over 3x. So now I can see that I can cross out my x plus 5s and the 3x's. But I notice here I've got 1 minus x over x minus 1. So by factoring out the negative, like some of you guys did in the warm-up, if I can rearrange it. If I factor out the negative, it's like I'm taking a negative 1 out, right? And x minus 1 over the x minus 1, and then still times the x minus 4. And so now my x minus 1s will cancel out, and I'm just left with negative 1 times x minus 4, or negative x plus 4. And if you don't multiply it out, it's okay. I mean, just the answer manual, it's actually not very consistent, but on one like this that's really simple, I think they'll usually multiply it out. But then other times they leave the answer factored. So as long as you did all the work right and your answer's right, that's fine. I'm okay with you not distributing it, is what I'm trying to say. It's okay to leave your answer factored. So either one of these is fine. Okay? Alrighty, so there is one for you guys to do on your whiteboards. Okay, so when you factor it, you can cancel out the x minus 5s, and you can cancel out a 2x and a 2x, and you're just left with x plus 3 on top, and then x times x plus 5 on the bottom. And again, if you leave it factored like that, I'm totally fine with that. Some of you distributed it. Either way is fine. But generally speaking, I'm probably going to leave it in factored form. Okay, now sometimes when you guys had to multiply a fraction times a whole number, what do you do in that situation? You make it over 1. Well, it's the same thing here. Just imagine that it's over 1, and you factor the top and bottom again. So nothing is going to factor on top here. There's nothing I can do to get 3x with a 9 on the end there. On the bottom, I've got the difference of cubes. So using our little reminder, it's going to be the same, opposite, and always plus for my signs. The cube roots, we get x minus 5. And then x times x times 5, and 5 times 5. Why did I say 5?
Yeah.
I was thinking of the warm-up still. It's 3. Sorry. All right, so that makes that 3, and that makes that 9. And now they cancel out. And so we're just left with x plus 2 over x minus 3. I was just seeing if you guys were awake out there, right?
70%.
Yeah. All right. So, last thing we have left to do is dividing rational expressions. It's just like fractions. When we want to divide with fractions, like if I have 1/4 divided by 2/3, what do? You multiply by the reciprocal, right? You do 1/4 times 3/2. So it's the same thing here. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. In other words, this one, we're going to flip it. Okay? So doing that, my 7x over 2x minus 10 stays the same. And I'm going to go ahead and factor the 2 out on the bottom. All right, and then for the other one, so the x squared minus 6x is going to be on the bottom now. So I take the x out, and I'm left with x minus 6. And x squared minus 11x plus 30 is on top now, and that factors to x minus 5, x minus 6. And then I cancel out what I can. So my x minus 5's cancel out, my x minus 6's cancel out, and my x's cancel out, and I'm just left with 7 over 2. So all that work, and we're just left with 7 over 2. So when you're done, there's one for you to try. All right, so we have our x's cancel out, the x minus 2's, the x minus 4's, and we're just left with 4/5. So just like before, when we had a whole number, what are we going to do here to take the reciprocal? Right, we just, again, just pretend that there's a 1 on the bottom. And so we would do 2x minus 3 times 3x plus 5 over 4x squared times 1 over x times 3x plus 5. And so my 3x plus 5's cancel out, and I'm just left with 2x minus 3 over 4x squared. Okay, so any questions about any of that? Alrighty, that's it for today. Oh, it should be 4x cubed. Thank you for catching that. Thank you. See, I told you it's the end of the day. My brain's fried.
I'm surprised I actually caught that.
Alrighty, yeah, now we're done.